Welcome, surf fans, to the 8:05 post-show, part of the Wallex U.S. Open of Surfing. And we just ended the day with a bang. Kanoa Igarashi, two-time champion, coming through victorious. We will be getting an interview with Kanoa if he ever gets through this throng of fans that waited all day to watch him surf. And he's going to pay him back. He's going to pose for photos, sign autographs. He's going to do his job as a professional surfer. And speaking of doing our job, I am Chris Cote. This is Mitchell Salazar. That's Pete Mel. You guys, I got the script for the 8:05 post show. This reads like an adventure novel. What a day of surfing here. This Challenger Series men's division really lived up to all expectations and more. There was some radical surfing going on today, and I do not use that term lightly.
Yeah, and some big moments too. We obviously had our first person qualify for the championship tour for 2024, but big shout out to the local guys too. Jet Schilling came up with a huge performance. Unfortunately, we did lose somebody like Kolohandino and Kate Madsen, but I definitely do feel like the wave showed up today, Chris. They were stellar.
Yeah, and that last heat of the day, you know, in looking behind us, you say, well, it's probably kind of deteriorating through into the afternoon. But these are elite-level professional surfers. They can make any waves look great, and they did it in that last one.
Yeah, they did. I mean, highlight for me was George Pittar. I think his performance today was amazing, throwing away by high sevens. He was exceptional. Got to watch my son compete today at the first time for the U.S. Open. That was fun to watch, even though he didn't make it. But overall, I think our hands are, are surfing. The surfers in this Challenger Series, we're in good hands with the performances that we've seen here in the round of 64. We're going to see, Australians. We've got a good American groups. We got Latin Americans. It's, like I said, in good hands.
I'm right there with you. Let's take a little rewind and see what just transpired out in the water. That was 30 minutes of fury to end our day here. And, of course, whenever Kanoa Igarashi paddles out on the north or the south side of Huntington Beach Pier, 99% of the time, big things happen, and they did in that last one.
Yeah, and opened up with a 6.33, as you saw right there. Was able to back it up with a 5.57. Going left, probably a brand new board that he's riding underneath his feet, one of his own models, the Storms from Sharp Eye. The thing looks great, and being able to just use that experience of surfing out here, doing free surfs and comps to his advantage, Chris.
Yeah, and he definitely had a tough heat. I mean, David Silva, this is a guy that will beat most people on the Challenger Series as well as the Championship Tour. He is that good and that consistent. He had to keep Kanoa honest, that's for sure. He dropped a 6.17 and a 5.5. You're always going to get big performances from David Silva.
And he did it with patience. You know, he was behind and needed a score here with about 3 minutes to go. This wave was he waited in this spot that he wanted to pick up this right. He found it and turned the heat.
Yeah, we did lose Jordan Lawler and Marco Mignot in that heat. Fives aren't going to do it for you at this level on the Challenger Series. So round of 64, heat 16, our last of the day today, went to Igarashi and Silva. And that actually is telling, right? Kanoa Igarashi, anytime he's competing here, like I said, you're going to see big things. Do you think he has what it takes this year to get that elusive third victory here in Huntington Beach?
I think he has it every year, and I think it comes down to him wanting it and the consistency that he's going to bring. Luckily for him, he is actually in the back end of the draw, which I actually think is beneficial to him. He's always going to have later heats during the day. I think that experience of just free surfing here so many times like that is going to help out a lot.
And, Kanoa is going to be facing some new competition. That's one thing I love about the U.S. Open of Surfing is we see new superstars rising through the ranks. And, for Kanoa, this is also going to be a scouting report as to who he will potentially be facing on the Championship Tour.
We know that Kanoa loves to compete. I mean, that's why he doesn't have to be here, right? Obviously, it's his home break, and that's kind of a lure. But the reality is that he loves competing, and I think you're right. Exactly, being able to compete against this new crop coming up, it lights his fire, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to be able to go in there, and if he can go out there and win another U.S. Open and spank everyone in the draw, all of a sudden they're going to come up against him in the Championship Tour, and they're going to go, oh gosh, I'm scared, you know, and so he's, that's what he's doing. He loves the place and loves competing.
And he's building momentum, and he finally made his way to the glass where Kanoa Igarashi is standing by now with Rosie Hodge.
Yeah, I am sure this is a field that Kanoa would love to dominate. Pete and the guys on the 8:05 post show were just chatting about how nice it would be to come up against this young crop of people on the Challenger Series. What do you make of this next generation of surfers coming up, Kanoa?
Yeah, wow. I had a good time just watching the contest all day today. I normally never watch, I don't watch many heats, but Had such a good time today, just sitting on my couch, something that I don't get to do very often. Actually, I never get to watch heats at my house. You know, I'm either normally in it or you know, different time zones and stuff. So it was nice to be just on the couch and watching heats, and I saw a lot of good surfing. And you know, I felt like the scale was really low today, just because the judges knew how much potential everybody has. So yeah, it was you know, a tough day to get scores, but you know, I was inspired after watching everybody surf today, and it was nice to finish off the day with a heat win.
And who are some of the people that impressed you the most?
Oh, wow. You know, I really like watching Cole's heat. He surfed really good. You know, I felt like there's a handful of guys that surfed good today. You know, I mean, there's a couple of bias fares, but I really like the way Jacob surfs. He surfed really good today, too. I felt like Nat, I felt like he surfed good. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's just a handful of guys that, whether, you know, they've been on the QS for years or it's their first year on tour. And I feel like Huntington's such a tricky wave. Everyone kind of has a different approach every single year. Even for me, I feel like I have a different kind of approach and strategy going into every heat out here, even though I've surfed this wave so many times. So, yeah, you know, I had a good day today, and I can't wait for some more.
We can't wait either. Thank you, Kanoa, for your time. Back to you guys.
So Kanoa Igarashi, probably half of his day was a lay day, laying on the couch, getting hyped, watching the contest, and that in turn fired him up to go out there and do what he does best. So congrats to Kanoa. He is rolling through with lots of momentum, and the momentum for our Challenger Series surfers just recently started. We're a couple of events in, and one name that's been on the top of everybody's list, including on the top of the Challenger Series rankings, is Cole Houshmand. I would venture to say this was right up there, probably one of the top 3 days of this kid's entire life. Why is that, Mitchell?
Well, he was able to qualify for the championship tour for 2024, a lifelong dream for him, Chris. And to be honest, I didn't think he was going to come out with this much desire. He really wanted it today. Look at this last turn. So much power and intensity into it. Congratulations to him. He's going to be on the CT.
Gotta love that Nolan Raposo is also in this heat. He knew the gravity of it for Cole. And again, as Nolan does, beginning of the heat, had a couple errors, wasn't pulling it together. It was like, oh no, come on, Nolan, pull it together. And sure enough, he did. And the back half of the heat, he was able to turn it. Cole took the win here, but another surfer who wants to find his way. He's already got a nice, solid result. And this is a place that Nolan can get a good number. He did it last year where he's able to get a good result. You know, there it is, the emotion for the kid with the stars on his head. And he's ordering up his Pipeline guns because he's going to be able to compete at Pipeline.
Yeah, and the championship tour has a monster coming onto it, that is for sure. Cole Houshmand dropping huge scores by way of pure power surfing. Seems like he does it the right way wherever he is, and you know, you kind of think of him and his build as a guy who would stand out in waves of consequence. Well, he can do it in the small stuff as well. He proved that today, and basically just proved to everyone in the world that Cole Houshmand is a force to be reckoned with. Congratulations, Cole. You are a rookie on the 2024 championship tour. What a day for him. What a day for San Clemente. You know, the performances were pretty much rising through each and every heat, but we only get one wave of the day. I'm talking about the Nissan Cup Noodles wave of the day. Now, with so many incredible surfers hitting this lineup and plenty of opportunity, it was a toss-up to see who it was going to be, but this is your wave of the day right here. A surfer named George Pittar. George Pittar, get used to that name. He's going to be around for a while with surfing like this.
It's pretty nasty stuff right there. I mean, look at that throw tail at the end, grabbing the rail when he's coming out of it too. And that's actually an ECT board that we were talking about from CI Surfboards. Thing looking great underneath his feet.
Got an 8.5, so thank you, Cup Noodles, for that wave of the day, and congrats to George Pittar. So we're just getting started, really. This is only day 3 of competition of 9 days straight in the peak of summer here in Southern California, the Wallex U.S. Open of Surfing Huntington Beach. How's it going to look for the rest of the week? I'm throwing it over to Professor Keith.
Well, that little storm right there with the purple blobs, that's the pulses we've been seeing. We saw a little increase today. We saw a little increase 2 days ago. We're going to see a little bit more coming forward, and then we'll see it back down, and then we're going to see some more action. And that's the summertime floodgates. This is a wave magnet for southern swells. We're going to see these swells. Pretty much we're going to have waves all week long. We're not going to go into the flat spells that we've just been through for the last month and a half. You see that one over there on the other side of the Pacific there, the bottom part. That's going to be for the weekend. So we're going to have some southerly angled swell throughout the entire event window.
That's a reason why we have been having surf events here in Huntington Beach for the better part of the last 2,000 years since surfing began. There's always waves here. 350 plus days of the year you can surf on the south side of Huntington Beach Pier. Thank you, Surfline, for that forecast, which is favorable. That just tells us the waves are going to be fun for the rest of the week. And speaking of fun, this is my favorite part of the 805 post show. I'm talking top 5. These are your top 5 shining moments of the day. And I'll tell you, you're in for a wild ride right here, starting with this guy, Connor Coffin. This was his buzzer beater finish. And Connor Coffin, one of the few surfers that could actually use the depth of his rails today in these waves, Mitch.
Yeah, and a former number 4 in the world, and some great surfing out there. Had one wave that was really crucial to his scoreline as well. Big layback, but as you were mentioning, Chris, buzzer beater performance right there from the kid from the 805.
And tons of fans on the beach waiting to greet him when he came in. Number 4. We're used to hearing this guy's name when we think of waves like Chihopo, and one of the few surfers on the planet who can ride that barrel switch, Kalivast. Well, he can do it in the small stuff too, absolutely ripping.
Yeah, bright future for this kid. You know, obviously very good at Chopo, which is one of the most difficult and challenging waves in the world, but able to do it in Huntington Beach. Talk about well-rounded. We talked about, Andre wanting to be able to be doing it in both places. He was able to do that right here, just like Kalivast.
The San Clemente Cyclone came to play today. Crosby Colapinto, number 3. Dominant performance. He had his brother Griffin in the box talking us through this heat. I think Griffin was more nervous than Crosby.
He was, and the dominance of San Clemente here in Huntington Beach has been noticeable. Crosby, a former champion at this location at the QS level. He's looking good, moving through into the round of 32.
And now we're at number 2. This guy has the wave of the day and the number 2 spot on our top 5, George Pittar. He went excellent, and he did it the hard way. I mean, this was by no means a perfect wave, but made the most of it.
Yeah, 7.93, 8.5, went excellent with the numbers, right? 16.43, I think, was his total, right? Yes, and then he actually threw away a 7.83 in this heat. So only rode 3 waves, and they were all really good ones.
And your number 1 moment of the day is the number 1 moment of this young surfer's life. Talked to him right after he came in from this heat. Said, how does it feel to have a lifelong dream come true? And you could just see it on his face. It was amazing to see this magical moment happen to this kid right here who has earned it. I mean, he has been through the ups and downs of professional surfing, and he's on his way to glory now.
Yeah, and did it on the lefts too, which few people were able to really obtain good scores on throughout the day, and good stuff there from Cole Houshmand. Guess what, Chris? We get another goofy on the CT.
That's right. We love to hear
footers.
that. We love to hear that. Well, we had a great day of Challenger Series competition here for the men today, and for the rest of the week we're going to have waves, we're going to have longboard, we're going to have shortboard, everything in between. You've been watching the 805 post show here at the Wallex US Open of Surfing. We'll be right back tomorrow morning. Tune in. We'll see you there.
Welcome to Southside Huntington Pier. What is in store for us day 3 of competition and the 4th stop on the Challenger Series. Sean Crawford up and riding, nice snap, and a huge finish there. Now the Reaper's calling, no time to react. Been through hell, I'm not going back. Morgs, strong carve.
It's going to be a big day for San Clemente and this kid right here, Cole Houshmand. Welcome to the championship tour.
Yeah,
Gonna get high, get on top, higher, to get what I want, higher. Soul been lost, blood and water, purify my faults. I'm on top, higher, I know what I want, higher. I've been scorned, souls and dollars, purified and reborn. Ezekiel out gets it. We're going to see him in the round of 32. Turn the heat. Last wave. 15.67 two-wave total. Crosby, Colapinto, Griffin. I think you can kind of lounge right now. Soldier bleed. Gonna get high, get on top, higher, to get what I want, higher. Soul been lost,
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used